Okay, so we're now hearing that the President Donald Trump, is willing to end military operations in Iran even if the strait isn't fully open, operating, which part of me has a hard time believing that, but the stock market right now is running. It looks like the market is buying it, at least in the short term, and we're getting a little bit of a relief rally. The Qs are up 1.5%, the Dow's up, let's see, 1.25%, SPY's up around 1.5% as well, and the Russell, the small cap index, is up almost 2%, guys, as Brent crude oil, let's see, where the heck's Brent at? It's hiding from me. Where are you, Brent? It's pretty much at break even, up 5 cents at 107 a barrel, as WTI is up around 1.25%. And the VIX is collapsing here, guys. Down 10%, back in the high 20s, mid-high 20s. It's at 27 points. So let's break it down. Let's break down what's going on here on the charts, my thoughts, stocks I'm looking to buy, and we have to go over, is this rally legit, or are we going to be met with more red? More selling. So guys, hit the like button, consider subscribing, follow along for more, join the Patreon for my portfolio updates and my private Discord, which I actually just posted a portfolio update earlier today. Check it out. Link down below, pinned in the comments, description box. I'll see you guys in there. And now, cheers. Let's get into it. So again, the VIX is down. Every index is up. Now Brent crude oil is going red. Now we're down a little bit here, right? As again, we got news that potentially military operations could be ending soon here, and that's despite the fact, or that's even with the strait being closed, right? Which I have a hard time believing that we're going to end our military operations in Iran, even if the strait remains shut down. There's just no way, in my opinion. But it seems like, yeah, the market's running. Brent's down now 0.25% on this news, and we're getting a lot of relief in a bunch of these big tech names, especially. Meta, for example, is up 4% today. Amazon's up 2.5%, 3% today. Nvidia seeing a nice rebound, over 3%. Apple's up about 1%. Microsoft's up 1.5%. But you're realizing something on all of these, right? They're still in a downtrend, right? We're nowhere near breaking out. Everybody knows that, right? And we're just simply getting a relief rally within the downtrend. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, that the market typically during war, it bottoms and starts to rebound before the war, right? And is that what we're getting now? I think it might be a little too early to tell, you know what I mean? But again, the market is taking this news and running with it. And Trump also told allies, let's come over here to this article from investing.com, told allies to take oil from the Strait of Hormuz themselves. Let's come down here and see what the president is saying. He wrote on Truth Social on Tuesday that countries unable to access jet fuel due to the strait, I think he was talking about the United Kingdom, potentially. Yeah, it's down here. Countries unable to access jet fuel due to the Strait of Hormuz closure should buy from the United States or take military action themselves to reopen the waterway. So it's like, oh, we might pull our military operations out of, Iran, even if the strait is still closed. But hey, you guys, UK, all these other militaries, you should go in and, take action, military action. He said here, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the strait, like the UK, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, he says, buy from the United States. We have plenty of oil, right? And jet fuel, right? And number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the strait and just take it. Trump wrote. If only it were that easy, right? The president added that the United States would not assist allies in reopening the strait, stating, "You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The United States, the USA, won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us." Trump's post follows a Wall Street Journal report that said that the president told aides he is willing to end, this is what we said before, willing to end the U.S. military campaign against Iran, even if the strait remains largely closed. And we know there are some ships from Pakistan going in, like 2 a day or something like that. I heard they're being charged, I think, $2 million per ship, straight up extortion, right? No, I'm kidding, guys. I don't know what it costs normally, whatever it may be. I'm not a Strait of Hormuz expert here, right? Nor have I ever claimed to be, but yeah, it's still largely closed. Pakistan's getting through, maybe some other vessels as well, but yeah, largely closed here. And again, Trump's, saying to the allies here, oh, maybe you guys should go in and take it. An administration official said Trump assessed in recent days that a mission to reopen the choke point would push the conflict beyond his timeline of 4 to 6 weeks. So it looks like he's trying to stick to that timeline. It's already been a month. I think we launched operations on the 28th of February. It's already been 4 weeks, and now Trump's like, crap, this might take longer than 4 to 6 weeks, which we originally planned for. And now he's like, oh, maybe, again, the allies, you guys should, try and take it over as the U.S. slowly pulls back. I don't know. I mean, look, who knows what's going to happen? Again, what's real? What's a half-truth? What to believe? What's a negotiation tactic? What's smoke? What's bluffing? What's this? What's that? It's hard. It's hard, right? But that's what we're getting now. An administration official said Trump assessed, again, in recent days, it could push the conflict above 6 weeks, and the president decided the U.S. should achieve its main goals of just weakening Iran's navy and missile stocks and wind down current hostilities while pressuring Tehran diplomatically to resume the free flow of trade, according to the officials. And if that fails, Washington would press allies in Europe and the Gulf to take the lead on reopening the strait. So this is good news for the market in the short term. It does provide some hope, right? A peek at the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. But again, nothing's guaranteed here. And Iran's probably not going for this, right? I mean, what are the allies going to say? In a second post, Trump criticized France for refusing to allow planes carrying military supplies to Israel to fly over French territory. He said France has been very unhelpful with respect to the butcher of Iran, who has been successfully eliminated. And funny enough, I'm going to France pretty soon here, so things are going to be interesting, guys, to say the least. And we can see right here, going back to Thinkorswim, let's break down these charts a bit further. I mean, again, we're seeing a nice rally across the board here, but just the way things have been playing out, it's hard for me to believe that it's clear blue skies ahead. I mean, does anybody believe that? Does anybody really believe that? I mean, come on. It's just a bunch of BS. I think we're still going to see more volatility, more red, as well as the Qs right now are just simply seeing a relief rally up to about 570, 575, I think is where the rally is going to start to fade, fizzle out. And you can argue that it's already happening. Look at the intraday chart, guys. We hit 570 this morning at 10 a.m. We hit it again at 10:30 a.m. We hit it again at 11:15 a.m. Now we're starting to see selling. It's starting to lose some steam here. I mean, we're still up massively on the day, 1.6% on the Qs, but if it doesn't break through 570, 575, this is going to drop like a rock, and the downtrend's going to continue, especially if we get some news negating what Trump's saying, or not even negating it, but if we get some news that Iran's not having it, if we get more escalation, this is easily going to come down. And you guys know that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that. So Qs keep your eyes on 575, 570. We're already seeing resistance there. And if somehow, some way, we start ripping through 575, 580, okay, now we can talk about a legit reversal. But we're not there yet. And on SPY, if I pull this up, same thing. We got a nice relief rally up 1.4% on the day, but we're still under 640, which was that resistance, 640, 642, or that was support rather, about a week ago. Now it's resistance, and we're still in a downtrend, still under this moving average on the 1 hour time frame. So SPY, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's up on the day, but we're nowhere near actually breaking out, in my opinion, based on these charts. And if anything, this could be a day where a lot of these big boys, institutional investors, they're maybe offloading some of these stocks moving today to raise capital, raise liquidity. At the end of the day, man, if you're an institutional investor, and we'll wrap it up here, or a money manager, you're managing other people's money, wealth manager, whatever you want to call it. All of these people have clients to answer to. Every single quarter, every 90 days, they have clients to answer to. They're always chasing the short-term, I guess, market trend, which in this case is not buying tech stocks. It's not buying AI stocks, right? It's energy. It's, consumer defensive staples, right? Industrials. A lot of these big boys, big institutional money managers, they're not really, I mean, sure, some of them are buying the dip in tech, but they're focusing on what's working right now. And in fact, they always do that. They're always chasing what's working in the short term because, again, they have clients to answer to 90 days ahead. Every day they're talking to clients, and that could cloud their long-term judgment, and it does, in my opinion, because, again, they're always chasing the short-term trend, and it clouds their judgment. It doesn't allow them to really buy some of these stocks on the dip because they might go lower. And guess what? They could. A lot of these tech stocks could go lower. And being a money manager, you have to kind of, again, go after what works in the short term because clients are like, hey, why are my tech stocks down? If they just keep buying tech stocks and they don't have the time horizon to wait out the recovery because, again, they have these clients to answer to, it's just a whole mess. It's just a whole mess. That's why, it's funny when I see all these institutional money managers saying, don't buy Mag 7, get out of they're not necessarily saying get out of tech stocks, but they're saying Mag 7's dead. I see a lot of people saying that, and that's not necessarily the case. Yeah, it's not working now, but in a year or two, these are easily going to rebound. And the point is, not all of them are going to rebound. Let me make that clear, but I think a lot of the good stocks are going to rebound. And if you have time on your side, if you're a retail investor, the point I'm trying to get at here is you can actually wait and hold, and you can wait and hold through the storm, whereas these institutional money managers, again, they have every 90 days, they have to do, performance checks, right? How are we doing against the index? What stocks are doing well in our portfolio? Okay, let's double down on those instead of focusing on the ones that are beaten up, that are actually at a good value, right? So that's the benefit of being a retail investor. You don't have to answer to clients every 90 days. You don't have to chase the hottest trend all the time. You have the luxury of being able to hold, wait, and ride through the storm. Yeah, I mean, it's a great luxury to have, especially if you have cash reserves outside of your portfolio. Let's say you have an emergency fund, which I mean, we don't talk about that stuff here, but I'm a big personal finance guy as well. If you have cash reserves, an emergency fund, you have money stocked away, right? 3, 6, 9, 12 months, whatever it may be, you definitely have the luxury of being able to ride it out and hold and buy the dip because you're covered. You don't have to sell and panic sell your portfolio when stocks are falling because you have that emergency fund. You're good to go, right? So I kind of went on a rant there. that kind of came out of left field, but it's relevant. It's relevant, especially when you're seeing all these big boys chasing energy, chasing this, chasing that, when there are a lot of deals just right in front of us right now in tech, in AI, and I think we're in the second or third inning, so why wouldn't I buy this dip and wait on it, be patient, because I think we'll be back. Call me crazy, though. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing, joining the Patreon as well if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my private Discord, right? And guys, we're investing every single week, buying stocks, trading options, investing, and you see all of that on Patreon. Link down below, pinned in the comments and the description box as well, or go to stasurfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.